Okay, IXL C7, and this is absolute value inequalities. So this guy is isolated because that's always my first step, but that's already been done for me. So I'm ready to go into my two cases. This is a greater than, and that requires two separate cases. The first case, I'm dropping the bars, and I'm not doing anything else. And I'll have an or for a greater than. And the second case, I'm dropping the bars, and I'm changing direction on my inequality sign, and I'm changing the sign on the right side. So now it's just regular solving. Subtract 4. And then this is also going to be subtract 4. Now the graph is going to be shaded on both ends of the graph. Anytime you're isolated and you have a greater than, you'll be shading on the ends of the graph. So if I had, for example, -8, and I have 0, and we'll pop a -4 in here as well. So t is greater than or equal to 0. So close circle, and everything greater than would be this way. And then this guy is everything less than -8. So notice how we're shaded on the opposite ends of the graph. That's not a coincidence. I expected that. Right now this guy is isolated, but it's a less than. So we're going to swing that guy in front to make our two cases and make him negative. So I have two cases, but it's written as a compound inequality. So now to solve for t, I'm going to solve both sides at the same time. So I'm adding 4 to isolate my variable. That will give me a 1. That cancels. And this will give me a 7. And then when I go to graph, it's a little crooked there, sorry. And I got a 1, and I got a 7, and I've got closed circles. And this says shade for everything between 1 and 7, just like that. When it's a less than, I shade between two numbers. When it's a greater than, I shade on the ends of the graph. Now I thought I'd throw this one in here. I kind of don't like my number being on the left, so I want to change it around. I could work with it this way, I'm just choosing not to. So my arrow is pointing towards my 1, so I just have to keep my arrow pointing towards my 1. Now this is a greater than, so I'll work it like my previous greater than example up here. So t minus 1 greater than 1, or t minus 1 less than -1. Add your 1 to both sides, and add your 1 to both sides. And I'm going to skip the graph on that one, but it would shade on the ends of the graph.